wondrous gem at its center lay a slumbering serpent, vaster by far than the denizen of any nightmare, its unctuous coils twice encircling the great altar.
That serpent, evil and foul enough to be the great god Set himself. Now what do we do?
Here, hold my sword. I'll see if I can't manage to purloin that little bubble without disturbing the sleep of that slimy monster watching over it. Holding a dagger between my teeth, I moved forward toward the altar, silent as a jungle cat. Leaning with one hand on the altar's edge, I reached out slowly with the other, until finally the glittering prize was within my grasp. It's ours, Subutai. Now we can... Wait, by Crom! There on the altar, the symbol and the banners of the destroyers of my village, the symbol of the two snakes. I think I'll borrow this little trinket and put it in my...
Cimmerian, behind you!
The warning came none too soon. The slumbering guardian of the altar was asleep no more. Fangs dripping with venom, the monstrous reptile wrapping one coil around my waist reared his ugly head high above me.
He's going to strike, Conan! Look out!
But as it struck, so did I, nailing its great jaws shut with the blade of my dagger, as an arrow from Subutai's bow struck it in the neck.
Arrows only annoy it, barbarian. It still lives. You must slay it with the steel of your sword. Here, catch!
I caught the sword just as the creature was about to strike again, and with one mighty stroke, I severed the great diamond head from its body, and the evil monster would kill no more. Just as we were about to leave, we looked up in time to see the ending of the drama being played out above us between the young girl and Yarrow, the high priest.
And now the time has come. Leap, my child, into the beckoning coils of Set.
I live only to do your bidding, O priest.
Of course you do, my child.
I go now.
As the girl's body landed on the floor where we watched horrified, Yarrow looked down and saw us and the dead serpent.
Infidels! Down below, fleeing through that archway! Kill them! Kill the infidels!
Climbing the ropes as fast as we could, we reached the roof only moments after Valeria, who had observed all that had transpired.
The reptile worshippers are right behind us.
We'll never be able to climb down in time.
Forget climbing. Look down there. That pool. That's the only way out.
Right, let's go. Together, now. Jump! We surfaced exulting in the success of our daring exploits. Later in the city, we celebrated in a boisterous tavern, frequented by all manner of men, sailors, merchants, smugglers, pirates, and ordinary townsfolk. And what will you buy, Subutai, with your share of our newfound wealth?
A fine new cloak, as befits a man of my position.
A cloak? At a time like this, you think of nothing but a cloak?
And girls, Cimmerian, sleek, beautiful girls. And you, my friend, will you also buy girls?
Nay, Hyrcanian, why should a man buy that which he already has?
And buy my sword, Subutai. He shall buy no other while I live.
Aye, and why should a man buy anything at all if he is as skilled in thievery as you three scoundrels?
We looked around to find ourselves surrounded by soldiers of the king, and we were taken directly to the palace.
These are the thieves of the tower, sire. What daring, what insolence, what incredible arrogance you three have displayed. Yet from the bottom of my heart, I, King Osric of Samora, salute you for daring to defy the most foul of all that is evil, Thulsa Doom.
Forgive me, sire, but did you say doom?
Aye, Thulsa Doom. Even my own daughter has fallen under that devil's spell.
Thulsa Doom. At last a name to go with the hated face of the leader of the horde that had slain my parents. A memory burned into my brain as though by a hot iron.
Even as we speak, my daughter is on her way east to Thulsa Doom and his cursed mountain of power, where he intends to make her his. And that is why I summoned you here. I want you three to bring my daughter back to me.
But sire...
You will be richly rewarded. Slave, pour out the rubies from the jar.
Beautiful. Exquisite.
Aye, take all you can carry. There are enough for each of you to become master of your own kingdom. Only swear to me that you will bring my daughter back.
Well, Conan, what say you?
Sire, your daughter will be returned to you. It was dawn as I rode eastward toward the mountain of power, and entered on the most dangerous enterprise of my life. Behind me lay Shadizar, where I had left Valeria, I and Subutai. For how could I ask them to share my vengeful quest when they could scarcely even fathom my need to pursue it? It was near day's end when I arrived at a place where a series of great mounds rose before me. On each mound, impaled on stakes, were the bodies of men left to die by Thulsa Doom. Beyond the last mound stood a hut where a wizened old man sat hunched in the doorway. I pulled up my horse and dismounted. Are you the caretaker of this strange place, old one?
Great kings are buried in these mounds, warrior, and I sing to them of battles and heroes, women and riches. Here, no one bothers me, not even the master.
The master?
Thulsa Doom, master of the mountain of power.
What do you know of him and his mountain?
Only evil dwells there, and the greatest evil of all is Thulsa Doom.
Clearly, the Ancient One was no friend of Doom. He was, in fact, a wizard, learned in the ways of sorcery, and he had already divined some of my reason for being here. I stayed the night, and in the morning, exchanging my warrior's armor for a pilgrim's robe, I took my leave. Keep my sword well-oiled, old one, and my horse well-fed, for I will return and will have need of both.
Have no fear, Cimmerian, and may your mission be crowned with success.
I joined a throng of pilgrims trudging along the rocky road through the Mountain of Power, a short distance beyond the Old One's hut. As we drew near the great Shrine of Doom, I stepped out of the column of pilgrims and was abruptly challenged by one of the priests.
Where do you think you're going, brother?
I have doubts, fears, O priest. Perhaps you can counsel me away from the others. Over here, where it is quiet?
Why, yes, of course, brother.
We walked slowly behind a large rock, out of sight of the rest. And before he even knew what happened, the disciple of Set lay unconscious on the ground. And I, now dressed in his priestly raiment, mingled with the other priests, filing silently into Thulsa Doom's forbidding house of worship. At the entrance, each showed a bronze medallion with the symbol of the two snakes, like the one I had stolen in Shadizar. And when it came to my turn, I showed mine and was allowed to pass. Soon I stood in the great amphitheater, believing I had deceived the guards. There in the center above us all stood the awesome figure of Thulsa Doom, his hypnotic voice holding his fascinated followers in trance-like attention.
The day of doom is at hand, my children. The day when I will order you to destroy the parents and leaders who have lied to you. The day your daggers will strike down pathetic fools who have tried to deceive you, even as that dog of an infidel standing there has attempted to deceive me. Seize him!
In the next instant, I was being hammered to the floor by a score of mailed fists.
You broke into my temple in Shadizar, stole my property, and slew the serpent I raised from the moment it was born 20 years ago.
If only Crom had granted me a minute longer, I would have destroyed you, too.
My, such hatred. Why?
You murdered my father and mother and all my people, and stole my father's sword.
It must have been long ago, when I searched for the riddle of steel. But I tell you now, boy, steel is not strong. For what is steel compared to the hand that wields it?
You condemned me to the Vanir wheel of pain.
And behold what it did for you. The strength of your arm, the fire in your eye, the desire in your heart. All this I gave you. And what a pity. For now, my boy, you will have to contemplate all these things on the tree of woe. Rexor, crucify him.
On the desolate, weathered plain beyond the Mountain of Power, they nailed me to the tree of woe. Beneath me, the ground shimmered like heated iron. Above me, the sun glowered down like a demon's eye, as the vultures hovered in the windless sky, waiting for me to die. They would not have long to wait, for I knew I would not live to greet another dawn. And then, suddenly, out of the horizon arose the form of a man, running effortlessly across the vast red landscape. I knew of only one breed of man who could run that way, a Hyrcanian steppe-dweller. And praise Crom, I was right. It was Subutai. He took me down from the tree.
Hold on, my friend. Valeria and I will take care of you until your wounds heal.
Take me to the wizard. Then I lost consciousness, and they carried me to the wizard. Summoning all the powers at his command, he committed his sorcery in a fierce struggle against the evil spirits that reached for my soul.
His body is twitching and heaving and racked with strange spasms. Wizard, what can we do?
Just stay at his side, whatever comes.
All through the night, the struggle went on. And then suddenly at dawn, I opened my eyes.
The spirits are gone. We have won, girl.
Oh, Conan, the gods cannot separate us. Were I dead, I would return from the very pit of hell to fight at your side.
The wizard had done his work well, and my wounds healed without trace. And before long, we were on our way to complete our mission. But my mission was still vengeance on the hated Thulsa Doom.
But remember, first things first, Cimmerian. We'll steal the girl, nothing else. The other comes later.
Is it agreed, Conan? Just the girl?
I nodded my head but said nothing, and we rode on. It was night when we reached the river-filled gorge behind the Mountain of Power and picked our way up the massive cliffs to the mouth of a great cave, lighted by the glow of a hot fire burning within.
It is like a scene out of hell itself. That rock cauldron, boiling, bubbling, constantly stirred by those ape-like men.
They are trolls.
No. Long ago, there were two races, men and the shadow dwellers. The men moved into the light, and these shadow dwellers,
They live on human flesh. They are the fiends Doom breeds to protect his children.
And some of these children appear to be their dinner.
How horrible.
Look, over the other side. That must be the chamber of Thulsa Doom himself.
Subutai was right, and we made our way unseen across a footbridge spanning the great cavern. Pausing outside the chamber entrance, we peered inside. There on a throne sat Thulsa Doom, and before him there was a dancing girl, swaying, undulating.
That girl, she must be Yasamina, Princess of Shadizar, daughter of King Osric.
And as we watched, our fascination turned to horror as we saw the arch-fiend Thulsa Doom transform himself into the living image of Set.
The serpent god. Ugh. Come, Cimmerian. Let's do what we came to do and then get away from this foul place.
Subutai seized a lighted torch from the wall and hurled it into the curtain lining the wall of the chamber.
The curtains! They're on fire!
Under cover of the thick clouds of black smoke that billowed through the chamber, we raced toward Yasamina, weapons in hand. 3 of Doom's beastmen sprang forward to block us, but I cut my way through them with flashing steel. Valeria reached the princess first, but Yasamina tried to resist capture.
Help me, Lord Doom! Save me!
Stop that stupid screaming, wench. You're coming with us.
Subutai, Valeria, head for the outside wall. I'll cover the rear.
The climbing rope is secure. Let's go, everybody. Down the rope to the river.
As we climbed down, one of Doom's men started cutting the rope.
Faster, everyone, faster!
Luckily, by the time he cut through it, we had only 8 or 9 cubits to fall.